Listen for the famous Vulcan howl as Vulcan scrambles. The extraordinary sound of those four Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus 202 two-shaft turbojet engines, about 16,500 pounds of static thrust for each of them. But of course, when this aircraft did its last flight in 1993, nobody believed that it would ever fly again or that we would ever see a Vulcan. But at that time, enter Dr. Robert Fleming. He describes Vulcan as the last complete triumph in the long history of innovative British aeronautical engineering, and he felt that this aircraft should be preserved. The result was the Vulcan to the Sky Trust and the start of a unique 11-12-year campaign to get her back into the air. And the campaign's been on a knife edge since its earliest days, surrounded on all sides by people who said it couldn't be done. And there have been many disasters, things like failing in the first Heritage Lottery application, because they said we don't do things that move, but succeeding against the odds in the second. Here she comes back in again, having decelerated down to about 160 knots. 185 miles an hour. Full power climb, and the air brakes coming out now as she descends. The air brakes stick out top and bottom of the wing. As she comes in towards us from the right, from half right, look for the bomb doors opening. You'll be able to see the size of that enormous bomb bay, capable of holding 21 1,000-pound bombs. Not very far off the kind of load that the Lancaster bomber carried during the war at its maximum, absolute maximum weight. Bomb doors opening. So throughout all the 11 or 12 years of the project, the real elephant in the room has been money. To get this far has cost nearly £8 million, including 2.7 million in that unprecedented Heritage Lottery grant. The rest has come from you, from the people of Great Britain. You've given your money in single pounds up to tens of thousands of pounds and everything in between. So this is the people's aircraft, and she is the most popular aircraft in the country. Bomb doors will close as she comes by this time. There's been huge support for this from the CAA and from Marshall Aerospace, who are the engineering authority. Lots of other companies, EADS, Air BP, BAE Systems, Jefferson, Subaru, AD Holdings, Goodrich and Rolls-Royce, and most recently, Aerobytes and Judd Power. Bomb doors closing. And throughout it all, see Walton at Bruntingthorpe, and SP Aviation. She flies in the colours, those camouflage colours, with the Lincoln coat of arms on the fin, standing for the Lincolnshire Bomber Rally. She has a Panther's head of number 1 group on the nose of the aircraft, and that represents all the Vulcan squadrons in the 70s. 9, 12, 27, 35, 44, 50, 83, 101, 617, and the Operational Conversion Unit 230 OCU. And watch as she spirals up into the heavens. Maybe not spiraling too high with this cloud base. Despite all of the magnificent money that's been raised for this aircraft, she's only safe until the end of the airshow season. She continues to need everybody's help. The original business plan depended on major commercial sponsorship. Now, of course, that doesn't seem to be available. And as she tips in and out of the cloud, isn't that possibly the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? When Vulcan first flew in 1952, she created an extraordinary reaction. She handled just like a fighter, and you can see she still does. That's almost the end of her display. You can see that Kev and Martin have got the wheels down. Phil Davies in the back, who's been doing all the communications and managing the electric jet, as it was called. So we shall see Vulcan come in to land. I don't think she'll use her braking chute today, because she doesn't have to on this runway, and it's quite expensive every time we use the braking chute, so we don't use it unless we absolutely have to. But I think what we will see is that Kev will hold the nose of the aircraft up for as long as he can, so that the oncoming airflow hits that enormous solid wadge of delta wing and slows the aircraft down aerodynamically. Interesting size comparison. She's actually about the same size as a small Airbus airliner. The wingspan of the Vulcan's 111 feet. The A318 has a length of 111 feet. Length of the Vulcan 105, wingspan of the Airbus 103. So about the same size, but of course she's solid, not cruciform. So crabbing into wind, quite a strong crosswind from the left. You can see she's pointing towards us and coming sideways. But Kev Rumans will kick the drift off just before she touches down. He's a GR4 man, he's used to doing that kind of stuff. He's straightening her up now. Touchdown now. 16 wheels on the ground, 2 more to go. He's not holding them nose up for very long. All 18 wheels on the ground. And there she is, the most lovely air.